Yo, what's up, man? This is the Back Room. We are back. Today we are discussing Michelle's Say Yes. And Nicole and Yasmin are staring at each other and giving each other funny faces. I don't know what that means. All right, so Say Yes. First response. Miss Yasmin Chavez.
I thought it fit her. I thought it just fit her.
You thought the song or the title of her album fit her?
The title of her album is New Journeys or some it's titled, I don't know, it's talking about Journey to Freedom. That's the title of her new album. But the song Say Yes, I thought it was just typical of her. Not to say that's a slug, it's just who Michelle is.
Oh, that's a slug.
That's
I just
That's who she is. She's basic.
She is, but
yeah.
and when you was in Destiny's Child, I was like, y'all didn't go to Michelle unless the camera was on her. Rarely. She sang the bridge every time. I was like, I can't even hear Michelle's vocals. I can hear Beyonce and Kelly's.
Yeah.
But I couldn't never hear her. But I thought it was a nice video, and I thought it suit her well. That makes it better.
Nice little bow.
Mm-hmm.
Nice little
Basic.
bow on that. Pretty much. After all the slugs.
Sorry.
And so my first impression was like, I ain't gonna say, my eyes came right at Beyonce. Like I was like, not on like no lustful to point. I was like, dang, it was like, one, what's on her head? Two, if I'm just being, man, let me be Christian.
You kind of are, whether you say
I was questioning the modesty of one, she had a poncho on, and then underneath the poncho, when she did one of these
there was
moves,
nothing.
You could see she had like a hoochie top and some booty shorts on. Mm-hmm. And this is one thing about some booty shorts for me. If you gonna wear, when you wear the joints with the pockets exceeding the length of the actual short,
yeah.
that's like, that's a whole new ratchet bracket. Like that and thigh tattoos just do it for me. Like you are officially ratchet. That, lace fronts, and thigh tattoos.
When I first saw the video, honestly, I was like, this is cheesy. That's all I could think about was this is cheesy. Like, the video was, like, cool, but when she first came on the screen, I was like, what does she have on? And that was initially my thought. Like, you gonna step out in a video like this with some ripped up jeans and, like, a blouse and some heels.
Basic.
Yeah, and it was, like, capri pants. I'm like, what is this?
Maybe she's trying to bring it back. She got a little platform.
She needs to leave it where it's at.
All right.
For your video? Baby,
she needs to leave it where it's at.
Yo.
Let Beyonce and Kelly be the peasants for once.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Yo,
but
maybe
honestly,
Route 21 sponsored the video.
Shut up.
Stop.
Rainbow.
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 Dang,
we get
Let
all
me
this
stop
girl
throwing
back.
slugs at Michelle. But, honestly, I thought the video, like you said, was really basic. I was like, wow, okay, when Jesus says yes, nobody can say no. Okay, what else? And then when I saw Beyonce pop out, I was like, first off, in my mind, I got a lot of skepticism with Beyonce and when it comes to Jesus. So I was automatically like, hold on, red flag, pause, hold on to play. Let me see what she really like. You know what I mean? Like, let me go deeper and see if they're going to talk about something else. That's all they said. I was like, okay, that's basic. Even demons talk about Jesus. You know what I mean? Not to say that Beyonce's a demon, because I actually listened to some of her songs, but that was my initial thought. I don't know about her spiritual life. She grew up in the church, supposedly, but it doesn't mean,
It means nothing. And
yeah.
I think when we listen to these songs, just because they're featured on these songs, we can have the assumption that they very well may have a relationship with Jesus, and it's not necessarily always the case. You have to really, in the Bible, it tells us to test the spirit of those who are around us. It's talking about teachers, but even those who are in mainstream media, to really examine and be like, okay, are they Christian or are they not? Or if it's just, they're Christian, they said they are, but what does the fruit look like? I mean, we are called to examine fruit. So, I didn't take it for what it was. I have skepticism about Beyonce being a Christian. I think it's just good for image. I think it's good to say that with anybody.
Yeah.
To say, I pray and I acknowledge God and Jesus. For her to say Jesus was a lot because usually she'll say God.
God, yep.
Y'all think that would fly in a church? Like, if y'all never heard this song before, you walked into a youth service for whatever reason, y'all in a youth service, and this video is playing, what would your response be?
Is that Beyonce? I wouldn't even think it was Kelly, to be honest. I would probably just be like,
Beyonce was, Kelly wasn't even, like, necessarily, if we're going to the immodest tip.
Yeah.
But then again, you have to go to the message, okay, what message are we sending out? Like, well, you can listen to Beyonce, but is she necessarily a believer? Then that question will kind of raise up in itself. Personally, no.
But what I'm saying, like, because if you're really concerned about these children and you know what the likely outcome of showing this video is, being they gonna see Beyonce like you did, and see Kelly, and then look into Beyonce on Twitter or whatever, they might want to see what their thoughts were about doing the video, how did that whole thing happen, and then that's an opportunity to slip right on into, I like my kisses down low, watch my back or something.
Michelle's, you know how they have suggested videos, Drunken Love is right next to it, and I'm like,
real?
Okay.
So I mean, knowing the possibility and probability of that, like, would you call it safe?
Nah, it's definitely, I don't think it would be safe when it's definitely explained like that. Like, obviously, and I know for me as a child, if they played that, I would do that. I would be like, oh, Beyonce's in that video and they played it in church, so she must be okay for me to listen to, like, you know what I'm saying, like her songs. And so I feel like it does give that, it doesn't condone the fact that, it's okay to listen to Beyonce, like they accept that. And so I don't think I would, if I was a pastor, I don't think I would play that. And if I was in a church where they played that, I would question why they played that. Like, what made it appropriate to play that?
I think I would just avoid playing it at all costs, because then it creates more questions of, like, kind of some questions you have to get deeper into. To whereas we'll have to question, the modesty that was marketed or whatever. If others viewed it immodest. And maybe the content of the song, or those who were featured in the song. I think overall it would just be something that you can avoid. But if a person does see it, or if you have it on your phone, you're watching it, and some kids are around you, type thing, and they have questions, you're like, oh, Beyonce's in there. Is it okay for us to listen to Beyonce? Is it okay for us to listen to Kelly? And to answer those tough questions. But as far as, like, broadly displaying that, I prefer personally. What was the church that you went to? We all went to Sunday.
NDCBF?
Yeah.
North Dallas. Say North Dallas.
North Dallas. Shout out to y'all. To Marcus Preach. But their praise and worship, they were singing Hillsong, and they were singing, these Christ-centered, gospel-centered songs. And I think that's so important that I didn't have growing up. I had songs like Say Yes. I had gospel songs that didn't have the gospel in it.
Yeah.
And so I'm just, like, listening to these things and really not knowing.
Mary.
Yeah. What about when Jesus say no? That's all I want to know.
Ooh, come
What
on
about
here.
when he say no?
Dun, dun.
Dun, dun. It's like, but Jesus says yes to a lot of things that we as Christians don't gravitate towards.
Jonah.
Like, say yes. Deny yourself of this. Yes. Don't do this. Da, 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 da. I don't really want to do that, Jesus.
Yeah.
You say yes to these things. Not to say he didn't say yes to the good, but I would just avoid it at all costs. But if some children came up to me youth-wise and like, I've seen this video and I think it's really cool, I would just be like, be mindful of what you listen to, and I would definitely suggest to their parents that they be mindful of what they allow their children listen to that are Kelly Rowland or Beyonce's music.
This song has 4 million plus views now on YouTube.
Yeah, it's growing.
It's a catchy song.
And I think that's because of the feature. They marketed it that
so
well.
You think that's
it's a feature?
She thinks it's because of the feature.
The features, Beyonce and Kelly being a part of it.
So you think it's just that?
I think
like when you pull up the articles of Michelle's single "Say Yes," it's talking about Destiny's Child got back together for this song. So it doesn't even necessarily it's not even about Michelle, except she gets to be in the middle. But I think they marketed that well because Michelle doesn't have a whole bunch of exposure like Kelly and Beyonce does.
True.
She does it. I mean, it's very small.
Yeah.
Compared to them.
Huh.
Microscopic.
She didn't even have a website, bro. I was over here doing work. I was doing her website is Wikipedia, bro. Like,
I'm telling you.
and I was like, I can't pull off of Wikipedia, bro.
Instead of a Christian artist like Molly Music kind of going mainstream, this is a mainstream artist going Christian in a sense, and kind of merging over into the gospel lane. Do y'all feel like her content was potent enough to be categorized as gospel? Or?
Yeah, because anything can. I mean, but if you listen to gospel nowadays, it lacks the gospel.
Yes, it is. It's just
It
music.
just lacks
I hate
the
that
gospel.
you have such a good point. Like, that's actually very true.
There's simple truths of God's character. I'm not gonna refrain from that, refute that. But it's as far as what He can give you, what you can do, and keep pressing type thing. It's like
Set the atmosphere.
Yeah.
like.
I don't know
What
who
more
songs-
else
who
does
songs
Jesus
that.
want from me type thing?
Who sings that?
Speak into the
I said that's not even. But I used to sing the mess out of that song, and I was like,
You
that's
used to
not
think
even
that it was-
biblical. bro.
No.
Not at all. That's not the only thing about being a Christian is Jesus saying yes to you. Sometimes He's going to say no to things.
Hello.
So let's be real about that. Sometimes He's going to say no to occupations. Sometimes He's going to say no to relationships. But we should count that as all joy. In a sense.
Come on.
I mean,
James,
count it as good that He's keeping us from things or He's redirecting us. And I think it's just giving one facet. Not to say that Jesus doesn't say yes to good things. I mean,
It
praise
says
God.
that.
Yes, He does. And I'm just like, when Jesus says yes, truly, that thing is for you, that relationship for you is for you, that job is for you.
Come on,
but that's
Shavay.
not the only thing.
Dun,
Come on,
dun.
Shavay.
That's not the only thing. If people know their word, they won't be gone astray to think that's the only thing Jesus says
Right.
and expects from us.
That's true.
Looking at how catchy the song is, like you can't help but think camps, churches, church camps, you know what I'm saying, lock-ins and all kinds of youth functions or whatever gonna play that song out. Like it's
Right.
no different than what's the dang on Mary Mary song?
It's the
all
God
of them.
in me.
Oh my gosh.
It's the God in me.
God in me. I'm not even gonna get on that.
The Holy Spirit is in us. But be
That was so
mindful
wrong.
what you listen to. And I mean, that's not a bad song to listen to, but
It's not.
just test it.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say that it's a bad song, especially if you know, as far as like, okay, obviously they're singing this, but still, that doesn't mean it's okay for me to go listen to every single one of their songs. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we probably look like haters on this show.
I don't think so.
But we're not trying to hate,
are
though.
like-
That's
we
the
are-
thing. We just critically analyze a little bit. People get tongue-tied. It's okay. Grace. But, I mean, you know what I mean? Critically analyzing the song. And I feel like if you can't do that to somebody's music, then why am I listening
If we
to
can
your
do that to
music?
mainstream artists, why can't we do
Yeah.
those who call themselves Christians or
Yeah.
gospel artists? Like, if you're going to be in my library, I need to know if your music
Hello.
is trash or if it's good. And I still got
Rap
trash in my
Genius?
library.
Where
so I
Rap
ain't gonna
Genius
stop.
at?
But we're Christians. We can't like put stuff out that's not uplifting and encouraging to people.
True. I mean, I'm not taking away. I just think there, as far as like, I don't think it's a bad song. I don't think it's a bad song at all.
I think
Her
it's
record
awful.
label.
No, I'm
I
playing.
think her record label could have done better as far as like video on having her stuff. They filmed that in New Jersey, bro. I'm thinking they flew overseas and stuff like that in Africa and stuff.
They had to make cuts, Yasmin.
Clearly. With the flags. They said, everybody bring your own flag. And we're going to stand here in an alley and dance.
Rep your set, cuz. Bring your flag. It gotta be Caribbean.
leave
though.
With my
Michelle
ripped
alone.
skinny jeans.
Michelle,
Ain't no
it's
getting on this
okay.
girl. No, I'm okay.
Like, bro, why
It's
you got a
okay,
Mexican
Michelle.
flag?
You did a good job. You did. She did. She tried.
Don't patronize
I'm
Michelle.
not trying to patronize her, but I just don't want it to seem like we bashing Michelle. You talk about Jesus.
Listen, we
That's
probably
Okay,
are.
with Beyonce in there.
And Kelly.
I don't really know how good that is, but do it. Do
What?
you, baby. Do
If she's
you.
sharing the gospel, praise God.
That's the gospel.
No, that's not the gospel.
That's not the gospel.
That's I mean, there's
That's
parts.
the gospel.
That's-
Nah, that ain't the gospel.
I just hope verbally she's expressing
But
that.
I'm glad they acknowledged Jesus and didn't say, when they say God says yes,
Hey, they
then
could've-
nobody can say no, because it's easy to do that.
They
Come
could've been
on,
liking their kisses
recognize
down
the
low.
second part of the Trinity.
Yes, Jesus.
Recognize it.
Hey,
Acknowledge him, because you
listen,
can't get to the Father.
Well, I my only hope is that if some church books her to come and perform the song,
Don't do it.
No.
Well, they can do it. Just keep going.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
Anyway,
Not
I
my
mean,
church.
I just hope that whatever, if she gets booked for a church or whatever the case, I hope that this song really leads to some sort of evangelism or fulfillment of the Great Commission, instead of it just being like a hit single to bring Michelle back.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
4 million in Kelly.
Maybe people will ask, why would Jesus say yes? Why does he have the power to say yes? And then that could lead into
And
the
make
gospel.
me aware of that.
You know what I mean? Like, why, how does he say yes and why? Why
Yeah.
would he be having the power to say yes?
Maybe
No,
somebody's
because-
bashing the song and it brings them to Christ.
Yeah.
Dun.
Like that Noah's Ark movie or whatever. The Noah's movie where people like started going into Genesis to look about, to like see the ark. All I'm saying is, Michelle, it's okay, baby girl. You did a little something.
She
You're
did.
making a step. You're doing it. So, kudos.
I guess, man. Well, anyway, it's time to go. Thank y'all for tuning in. It's the Back Room. Shouts to Michelle Williams and Say Yes. And she asked you to watch her video on YouTube. Say yes.
Y'all so fake. Ooh, y'all so
All right,
fake
y'all.
for that.